senior NBA writer for ESPN. He just posted a great story today at Andscape about the first competitive game between Keegan and his twin Kris, and that, of course, is tonight at the Golden One Center. Marc, thank you so much for your time. It's been a long time since we've chatted. With everything going on in the NBA, what drew you to this story?
Marc, you there?
4 months ahead.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, I said I always think several months ahead on my stories, and I had actually done some stuff on Amen and Osar Thompson already. The seventh and eighth pairs of twins coming into the league this year, right? And so I was like, well, what about the Murrays, man? I think there certainly should be something done on them. Not as much fanfare on them. I really, really like Keegan as a dude, and started to know Kris a little bit, and I just found their story to be interesting because in a lot of ways, them being separated for the first time last year. Mm-hmm. One coming to the NBA, one staying in school, and also getting the sense that they're enjoying the separation. So just thought it was a unique story, and they're both really kind of low-key guys, although I think Kris has talks a little bit more than Keegan does, but I just thought it was a unique story, and hopefully they'll get to guard each other tonight.
Yeah.
Marc, my guy, what did you learn about the twins when talking to them? What kind of things stood out to you that you learned from them?
I learned their competitive fire, and I'll kind of finish the story up with this, but apparently when they play one-on-one, it gets pretty heated. And got to the point once where the dad had to separate them. So there certainly is a lot of competitive fire. And then although they look the exact same and sound the same, they're very much their own person. I mean, I'm sure Kris probably was, a little disappointed he couldn't enter the NBA at the same time as his brother did. But, he felt like now, there was a big difference in points per game. I think Keegan averaged 22 his sophomore year at Iowa, whereas Kris averaged like 9. There's a big difference. And Kris actually considered entering the NBA draft, but kept his name in, and then he became the star at Iowa. So obviously, Keegan's regarded in a much higher level. He's a budding star, needs to pick it up a little bit, but starter for the Kings, whereas Kris is only played in 2 games and try to find his way. So, there is a difference there. I don't know if Kris is able to catch up with him, but he certainly isn't sounds like he feels pressured to follow in his brother's footsteps. He's trying to make his own way.
Marc J. Spears, nice enough to join us. And Marc, you, of course, wrote about Keegan the summer before his rookie year. In what ways would you say Keegan is a good fit for this Kings team and was a good fit, which is one of the reasons they picked it up when they drafted him?
The thing about him, he's just like that. He's quiet off the court, but his game is quiet too. But then at the end of the game, if he's had a great game, you're like, yo, he had 22. He had 6 threes. He has this quiet loudness to him in his game. And what I hope to see, and I think Kings fans hope to see, is what we saw in Summer League. An aggressiveness, a dangerous offensive scorer. And I do think that Mike would like him to be that as well. He's been a little timid so far, which, especially with Fox being out, you would hope that he would, take his game up to a higher level. I mean, I'm sure he has the greenest of green lights right now. But I know it's just a matter of time for it to hit with him. I think he has a chance to be really, really special. And the only thing I have a problem with the kid, you could tell him I said this, is we haven't gone fishing yet. He told me he's an avid fisherman. I've mentioned going fishing with him, and we haven't been able to make that happen yet. So I figured that a dude, I don't think Harrison fishes, even though he's from Iowa. But Keegan and Kris actually are avid fishermen, so hopefully I can get on a boat with them soon.
Yeah, that should be a good time, obviously. Marc, obviously, the Sacramento Kings fan base, a little upset with its team right now, man. They've hit a rough patch, 3 straight losses, and it's not just, the losing It's the way they lost down there in Houston. What do you make of what's happening right now with the Kings?
I'm a little surprised. I mean, look, De'Aaron Fox is a superstar, right? And I thought him being out certainly would have an impact, but I feel like they've been competitive and won some games without De'Aaron in the past. Somebody has to step up, and it's a bonus to me is the main one. He and Keegan and Harrison should be kicking themselves right now. It's embarrassing. You don't lose to Houston by that many points. Like, come on, man.
You're right.
Not
100%, right?
Yeah. Right. Like, come on, man. Like, I don't know what's going on, what's happening. Like, well, then you got this long list of guards who are fighting for time. Like, look, man, this is your chance to prove to coach that you deserve to be playing more, that you deserve more minutes over the other four guards, and they're not embracing this moment. So, I'm sure now, like, the value of De'Aaron Fox in the mind of the Kings fans' eyes is getting bigger, but it also scares you because you wonder if something else happens to him, what happens to this team. This is a team that has high expectations. Mike has talked championship with them, not playoff with them. And right now, this looks like the team we saw 2 years ago, right? It doesn't look like what we saw in a breakthrough season last year. So, no, there's got to be more involved in that, man. It's one thing to lose, but it's another thing to be drilled. And then when you're getting beat up by a team that, I mean, what were they doing? Eating Trill burgers out there in Houston and listening to
hanging with Bun B and them, right?
Music? Like, yeah, like what were they doing out there, man? Like, I don't know. Did they go to a rodeo? I'm just really confused by them getting drilled by the Houston Rockets. That was one of the more surprising things that's happened this NBA season.
Marc J. Spears, nice enough to join us. I wanted to circle back to something you mentioned a few moments ago about the Murray brothers, Mark, which is really interesting. As close as the twins are, is it a good for them to not be teammates? Is it good for them right now, or they feel good about as much as they care for each other about not being on the same team right now?
Yeah, no, it's funny because both of them are saying, like, we're good with me being here and him being there. I was like, okay, is there more to that story? I mean, it's I think they FaceTime every day and they miss each other, but I could see it. I mean, think about it. You being face to face with somebody for your entire life, and I think you grow as a person. You get to do new things, and also probably make new friends, because I remember just in junior college, my first 3 years of my college basketball career, I was playing with my first cousin. So I kind of felt like we always had to hang out all the time, right? And be next to each other all the time. And I kind of like when 1 year I played at the University of D.C., my coach made me room with one of the bigs. Now, my cousin not making grades helped in that matter, I guess, because I couldn't room with somebody that wasn't playing.
You calling him out. You putting him on blast, Mark.
Yeah, I called him out, right? But room with somebody that ain't eligible. But no, I mean, you just, it's good for their growth. And the interesting thing too was it didn't work out for the Kings. And you guys remember before the draft, there was so much like, what if they draft him? What if both brothers are here? Had the Blazers not selected him, the Kings had the next pick. I wonder if they would have, thought about taking him, or they had to. I was actually a little surprised that it didn't work out in Sacramento. But maybe it just seems like for them, it's good that they got some breathing room. But I know their parents are going to be there tonight. I'm sure you guys will figure out a way to put them on TV. And from talking to both of them, they expect their parents to be pretty emotional watching them play. And hopefully Kris gets in and they figure out a way to get them two to guard each other. It's going to look like that Spider-Man meme when they're like pointing at each other.
Yeah.
I said earlier, Chauncey, you got to play Kris Murray tonight. You're down like 3 or 4 guys. You're banged up. Like, now's the time he has to get in this game tonight. Mark, I know you has covered Mike Brown for a while. You know him well. The rough patch that the Kings are going through. One thing I know about Coach Brown, he believes in the work. If you put in the work, things will change. Speak to that, if you will, and just his competitive desire and desire to fix things when things are going a little sideways.
Well, one thing I know about him, he's kind of like a military professional. You know, not kind of, he is. He wasn't in the military, but he grew up in was born on a base, has a military background, and he's really, really meticulous about preparation and getting things right. And so I'm sure if there's somebody that in this the hardest, it's got to be Mike. He certainly takes a lot of pride in the way he coaches and the way his team is playing, and to not be competitive, to get blown out, which is probably something I don't know that you really saw last season. That's got to be alarming to him. So knowing him, I'm sure he's been spending some late nights at the Golden One Center, spending some late nights at his house watching film. You know, maybe he needs to get on his Harley and do some thinking driving his Harley around. So he said he hasn't driven his Harley much lately, but I know it pains him, and he's in this situation. So I'm sure he's really squeezing himself, and it's early, man. The NBA's in waves. In a month, you'll forget about this, but I'm sure they probably feel some pressure tonight. Like, you can't lose to Portland at home.
Right. I think that's the problem. They've been feeling too much pressure as it is. It's one of the reasons they've been struggling. Hopefully tonight they can just, as Steve Kerr likes to say, have some fun, play with some joy. Marc Spears, our guest. If you haven't already, if you're a Kings fan, you got to check out his story on the Murray twins at Andscape. And Marc, it's a pleasure to talk with you again. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Hope to talk to you again soon.
All right, and hey, has Kyle figured out Sactown yet? You got
man. Here's the funny thing about Marc Spears. Here's the funny thing about Marc Spears. He used to work in Louisville. I worked in Louisville. He used to work in Boston. I worked in Boston. He's from Oakland. He's a Bay Area guy. I'm right down the street. I'm trying to get rid of this dude. Everywhere I go, he's there. Man, it's killing me.
That means I was here first. Why are you following me around?
That's true. Hey, man. Hey, I tell you what, I would love to have your career. This dude has done so many great things. Hey, and congratulations. You were inducted into the San Jose State Hall of Fame. Is that correct? Athletic Hall of Fame?
Well, I was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball.
Yeah. No, I thought
that's a little bigger deal.
No, but then they retire your jersey. They did something for you recently.
They say they had nothing to do with athletics.
All right. My bad, man.
Wait, no. I mean, I got the Hearst Award for journalism excellence, which I know Dr. Fauci has gotten an award too, so that's
See, I'm just trying to give you your props, big bro. You know that.
Hey,
I'm trying. I know about the Naismith Hall of Fame. Come on, big fella. I knew that.
Hey, both of those awards had nothing to do with my basketball skills. It tells you a lot about what kind of player I was in college.
Right. I appreciate you. Hey, you in town for this tonight or not?
Well, I wasn't able to make it.
Oh man, we gotta get you up here again. Gotta get you up here soon.
Yeah. Tell Scoot to play it. I'd have been there, But,
yeah. Scoot.
I just wanted to listen to you on TV, brother. That's what it was.
Oh, all right. Make sure you watch tonight, man. I know you got that league pass.
I will.
Thank you, Marc. Yeah.
All right, take it.
Yeah. Oh, the one and only Marc Spears, wouldn't we?
Oh my God. He gonna hit me up like, Trace, what you doing, man? What you doing? You know what? I thought I saw something on social media. Like,
you were just trying to be nice.
No, exactly. Yeah. I thought he posted something like a month ago at his alma mater, but maybe I missed out on it. I missed that.
Who are the Kings? Will we get the answer tonight? We're right back with that and more from the Golden One Center. Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.